So let's switch over now to Chlorella, because you've talked a little bit about kind of the energizing effects, the focus effects, and endurance effects of spirulina. So Chlorella, how is it different?
Okay.
What are people using it for?
Yeah. So Chlorella will not give you energy and it will not satisfy your hunger. What it does is it builds your immune system, builds your health overall, and pulls out toxins. And the way it does that is three main ways. Number one, as I mentioned, it has the highest concentration of chlorophyll in the world. Now, chlorophyll is the pigment that is green. It makes plants green, and it's very cleansing. Chlorella has 500 times more chlorophyll than arugula. It has 25 times more chlorophyll than even liquid chlorophyll. There is nothing in the world with more chlorophyll than chlorella. And just to show you how important chlorophyll is, it's been used forever, up until even as recent as the World War II, for cleansing and healing, because the chemical composition of chlorophyll is virtually identical to your hemoglobin. They used to give it to the injured even during World War II if they ran out of blood for transfusions, because the injured would heal just as fast. And I invite people to go online, and we'll send you some documents so you can see for yourself that the only difference between hemoglobin's composition and chlorophyll is that your hemoglobin has an iron atom in the middle, and that's what carries oxygen in your blood. And chlorophyll has a magnesium atom in the middle instead. Otherwise, they're identical. By the way, we see chlorophyll as green, but if you put it under red light, it's red, just like our blood. So the bottom line is, when you have healthy blood, you're going to have a much healthier body. You're going to have a much healthier brain, a much healthier immune system. Everything works better with chlorophyll. But our food supply is so short of chlorophyll. You could eat a roomful of arugula and still not get as much chlorophyll as you would from a handful of chlorella tablets. It's the situation is that bad. And the reason why it's so bad is that our soils are so overcropped, and there's literally no nutrition left in the soil, no nitrogen. So there's very little for the plants to pull up, so they're not nutritious. And also the ozone layer is so damaged, they're finding the plants have more sugar in them these days than they did 50 years ago, and less nutrition. So even if you are plant-based, I can promise you, you are not getting the amount of chlorophyll that you would need to truly benefit your health. You'll get it from the chlorella. So that's number one. Very similar to your blood, helps build your blood, and of course, it's the highway that brings nutrients to every part of your body. Number two is chlorophyll is a fat-based pigment. Now, spirulina, I didn't dwell on this, but spirulina has two pigments in it. That's why it's called a blue-green algae, because it has a blue pigment in it called phycocyanin. Now, I experiments for many years. I would put a couple of the spirulina in a plate with water, and I would put a couple of the chlorella on a plate with water, and I would watch what would happen beautifully throughout the entire plate. Not the chlorella. The only color that comes out, of course, is green. And it doesn't disperse at all. It just clumps. And I kept wondering what is going on until I had my epiphany and I was validated by science that chlorophyll is a fat-based pigment. And the reason why this is so important is that your health, all your health issues, start at the cellular level and the mitochondria in the cells. And the way to keep those mitochondria, one of the ways to keep those mitochondria healthy and your cells healthy, is to have a permeable cell wall. And the way to keep them permeable is with healthy fats. And when you have healthy fats, then nutrients can get in and toxins can get out. And chlorophyll facilitates that. The analogy I give people is, when you have dirty windows, you can't see out and sunlight can't get in. So think of chlorophyll as window washers for your cell walls. Keeps everything humming.
Now, Catherine, do you know, is it working on repairing the biphospholipid that's within the cellular wall, or do you know kind of the mechanism of action there?
I don't know the mechanism of action, no. I just know that healthy fats are required for the permeability of the cell wall. But I will tell you that inside the cell, when you have those mitochondria, here's a really cool thing that's been discovered, is that when you have chlorophyll, and of course, chlorella has the highest chlorophyll, and you have red light, which could come from either red light therapy or the sunlight. When you put the two of those together, your mitochondria generate ATP. Now, we've all been told that as part of the Krebs cycle, the only way to generate ATP is either through anaerobic or aerobic processes. But with the chlorophyll and sunlight or red light therapy, it seems to generate it on its own. And the way it does that is that it recirculates the CoQ10 molecule, which is required for the generation of ATP. So ironically, the chlorophyll not only is healing the cell wall and including the mitochondria cell wall, it is facilitating the generation of energy and helping remove the free radicals that are part of the metabolic process of generating that energy.
Would it make sense, Catherine, then to like put this into a smoothie and then immediately afterwards either go get direct sunlight or go get stand in front of my Juve panel or something like that for the biohackers out there?
Absolutely. In fact, we're working with a lot of cryotherapy centers who, of course, now are starting to include red light therapy in their facilities, in their clinics.
Right.
We explain how the spirulina and the chlorella are very, very valuable to up-level any cryotherapy or red light therapy treatments because A, the vasodilation issue, and B, the chlorophyll, which is both cleansing and generates that ATP. So yeah, it's a great 1-2 for sure.
Thanks for listening to the Hanu Health Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. This podcast would not happen without listeners and supporters like you, and the best way to support us and the show is to head on over to iTunes and provide us with a 5-star review. This helps us reach others and spread the good word of breathing and stress resiliency. If we read your 5-star review on air, please reach out to podcast@hanuhealth.com with your name and mailing address, and we will send you some sweet Hanu gear. Until next time, breathe better and stress less.